shown the ability in the past, both of you, to mobilize people, but I'm thinking about something in very recent history, very different, but you had 90% of the American people who wanted background checks for guns, and they couldn't get it through Congress. There seems to be a tremendous push and agreement for immigration, and yet the general analysis seems to be it's going to get through the Senate, not going to get through the House. How do you make this mobilization successful, Mark Morial?
There is no right more fundamental to Americans than democracy. No more right that is more essential to this nation but the right to vote. Here we have been on international efforts in Iraq and Afghanistan to, quote, secure democracy, to create democratic systems, to do regime change. Here we are looking at what is happening in Syria. This is a chance for us to focus on right here in the United States of America. This issue is very large in the 21st century because that right to vote is so basic and so fundamental. So you're going to see an appeal. This is also going to be a chance for people to step up. Every member of Congress has to run for re-election in 2014. A third of the Senate has to run in 2014. Governors and mayors are up. We're going to invite and call on them to take a strong stand in support of democracy, in support of what I would call a new approach to the Voting Rights Act in this country in light of this decision. This is not going to be we're not going to let anyone hide. We're not going to let anyone pretend that they're an ostrich. We want people to step up and certainly be counted. We've got, obviously in the short run, to determine what the agenda for the Congress is going to be. And we look to the President, and I know we can count on the President to give his strong voice, his strong moral leadership. When LBJ in 1964 and 1965 stood up a generation ago, when Dr. King and Whitney Young and others stood at the Lincoln Memorial in 1963, they framed this as a moral cause because voting was so fundamental and because the nation had had a history. We've changed the Constitution numerous times to protect the right to vote. We've changed the laws. It's always been about expanding democracy, not contracting democracy. This decision has the potential effect of contracting democracy, which is why Americans have to stand up in opposition to this and in favor of a positive, proactive response.